Torture is not merely something to be feared, it is an essential component of life's complexity. It serves as the catalyst for our evolution, urging us to transcend the limitations we place upon ourselves and the world around us. Whether it is physical, mental, or existential, torture pushes us to our very limits, forces us to question our understanding of reality, and ultimately helps us redefine who we are. It is through this deep struggle that we are granted the gift of self-awareness, the opportunity to break free from the chains of ignorance and complacency that bind us. To understand the significance of torture in the grander scheme of existence, we must first examine its role in the cycle of creation and destruction. From the very moment the universe came into being, the forces of creation and destruction have been intertwined, engaged in an eternal dance. The Big Bang, the birth of stars and planets, the birth and death of civilizations, all occur within this cycle of flux. Torture is embedded within this process as a necessary force that drives transformation, the pain that must precede progress. Without this tension, this suffering, the universe would stagnate, and no meaningful change would take place. When we think of torture, we often envision the suffering that comes from external forces, physical pain, emotional trauma, or the harshness of the world. However, there is another kind of torture, the internal suffering that comes from within. It is the struggle to reconcile our sense of self with the chaos of existence. It is the ongoing conflict between our desires and our limitations, between what we wish for and what we are capable of achieving. This internal torture is perhaps the most profound because it forces us to face our deepest fears, doubts, and insecurities. It is within this personal suffering that we encounter the potential for true transformation. Torture is not just about enduring pain, it is about what we do with it. It is through suffering that we gain the clarity necessary to break free from the shackles of our own minds. Pain is not simply a negative experience, it is a teacher. In every moment of suffering, we are presented with the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to transcend our limitations. Pain strips away the illusions we cling to, revealing the raw truths of our existence. The more we embrace it, the more we begin to understand that it is not the pain itself that defines us, but how we choose to respond to it. This process of embracing torture as a transformative force allows us to transcend the limitations of our current selves. Just as the caterpillar must endure the transformation inside the cocoon in order to emerge as a butterfly, so too must we undergo our own period of suffering in order to evolve into something greater. The struggle, however difficult, is the crucible in which we are forged. It is through facing our fears, experiencing our pain, and overcoming our doubts that we become stronger, wiser, and more capable of navigating the complexities of existence. The concept of torture is not inherently evil or negative. It is a tool for change, a mechanism of growth that forces us to confront the deepest parts of ourselves. In the face of intense suffering, we are reminded of our fragility and our resilience. We are forced to acknowledge that life is not about avoiding pain, but about understanding its purpose. Every moment of suffering carries with it the seed of transformation, and it is our choice whether we let it take root and flourish. As we endure the pain of existence, we begin to understand the deeper layers of reality. The more we suffer, the more we learn about the nature of life itself. It is through pain that we gain insight into the transient nature of all things, the impermanence of our circumstances, and the illusory nature of our attachments. This realization is the first step toward transcendence. Once we recognize that pain is not an eternal state, but a temporary condition, we can begin to let go of our attachment to it. We can release our grip on the suffering and move toward a state of greater peace and understanding. Furthermore, torture allows us to redefine our relationship with the world around us. We come to understand that suffering is not something to be avoided at all costs, but something to be embraced as a natural part of life. The key is not to avoid pain but to navigate it with wisdom and grace. In this way, torture becomes not a curse but a blessing, a tool that helps us become more attuned to the rhythm of the universe and our place within it. Through this process, we come to see that the gift of torture is not in the suffering itself, but in the growth and wisdom it enables. Torture is a form of initiation, a way of being tested, of proving our ability to endure and transcend the challenges life throws at us. Just as the crucible refines gold, so does pain refine us, purging us of our impurities and leaving behind the pure essence of who we are. This transformation is not instantaneous. It is a gradual process that takes time, patience, and a willingness to face the unknown. In this sense, torture is a rite of passage, a necessary step in our evolution as beings. Without it, we would remain stagnant, trapped in our comfort zones, unable to experience the depth and richness of life. It is through suffering that we are forced to break free from our limitations and expand our consciousness. This expansion is not without cost, but it is the price we pay for the gift of wisdom, clarity, and understanding. As we transcend the pain of torture, we begin to see that it is not a force of destruction, but one of creation. It is the spark that ignites the fire of transformation, the catalyst that propels us forward on our journey towards self-realization. It is the tension between opposing forces that drives the wheel of life, allowing us to evolve and grow in ways we could never have imagined without it. The pain we experience is not meaningless. It is a necessary part of the cosmic dance, a force that propels us toward a higher state of being. Ultimately, the gift of torture is the gift of liberation. It is through suffering that we learn to break free from the chains of the past, to transcend the limitations of the present, and to step into a future that is defined by our own potential. It is through this process of transcendence that we move closer to the ultimate truth of existence, a truth that transcends pain and suffering, a truth that reveals the interconnectedness of all things and the infinite possibilities that lie beyond the boundaries of our current understanding. Through torture, we are reminded that we are not victims of circumstance, but active participants in the unfolding drama of the universe. We are co-creators of our own reality, and it is through the fire of suffering that we are forged into beings capable of experiencing the fullness of existence. In the end, it is not the pain that defines us, but how we choose to rise above it. Through this process, we gain the freedom to transcend our limitations and step into the boundless potential that awaits us. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the paradoxes of life. If you found this video thought-provoking, give it a like and share it with others who might enjoy unraveling these mysteries. Don't forget to subscribe for more content exploring the edges of existence. Until next time, question everything and keep exploring your own destiny. Take care. Bye-bye.